meeting of the Public Site and Building Commission to order at 7:01. Dave's usually the one with the flag, so I don't want to be disrespectful if we don't have a flag to salute, so that's okay. Oh, Kathy's going to get a flag. Yay, okay.
Hey.
And join me in the pledge. I always like to stand, so I will do that. Backwards. That's okay. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one
one nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and
liberty
justice.
and justice
liberty and
for all.
justice for all. Thanks. We were all kind of at a different speed, but that's okay. So, no public, oh, there's John. Hi, John. No public, so I assume there's no public input. And correspondence is all part of our different project reports, so there's nothing separate on that. So we have to approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting of Tuesday, October 27, 2020. So I'll make a motion that we approve those minutes.
I'll second.
I need a second. John Menti seconds. So you all received the minutes ahead of time, so I think that you and I reviewed them also to find out what happened while I wasn't here. Anybody have any input on the minutes or anything that needs to be changed or? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Everybody? And I wasn't here, so I have to abstain. And Dino abstained, and yeah, so Dino and I abstained. John Perna wasn't here, but he's not here now anyways. So then we can move right into, sorry, our old business and our school projects. So I think we did get a reports from Rizzo on both projects, and so Geraldine's putting that up on the screen. And Ken, which school are you going to start with? We got Johnson.
We got Johnson.
We got Johnson.
Johnson's up. Okay. So this page shows the work completed since the last report, and a few open items that we're still working on. And we can go to the work in progress and go over them. So for the work in progress, the gym phenolic panels are at the stage and they're 85% complete. There's a few more panels to put in place there. The site work, amphitheater, concrete sidewalks, at 90%. They basically completed it. So there's a little bit of sidewalk behind the gym and up close to the stairs that they have to do, but they've purposely left it out for access right now so they can complete the playground work that's involved with the drainage that's going to be starting. And down at the bottom, we've got the wood floor delivery is now, it's coming on site tomorrow, and they're going to start installing on Thursday the 12th. Playground drains, he's scheduled for the 23rd. He's also got the mulch coming, and then we're going to start with the fencing that separates the playground from the basketball court. And he's going to be backing his way out of the back of the gym area so that he can start prepping for the walkway to the field, the handicap walkway to the field, and getting all of the access road in that area done. He was planning on pouring the paving the access road in the back of the 5th grade edition by Friday. And it's dependent on American Paving if they get canceled on jobs on Thursday because of the rain. So that remains to be seen, but we're gonna pave all the way around to the playgrounds right before the basketball courts to allow for that work to complete without having to have a lot of machinery go on the basketball court. And right now there's still a playground paved area back there that's usable. So delaying the basketball courts is probably a wise decision at this point. So nothing gets wrecked while they're still finishing up the playgrounds. And so the biggest part of the work right now is going to be the focus on the receiving area and the gym, finishing out the gym. I didn't put this on there, but it just happened yesterday. They put the divider curtain up. So that is in place. And well, after we put the wood floor in, they'll have to do the wall pads. And then where there's been a change at the stage. So that's now changing to LVT tile, floor tile. So we're getting a cost from the contractor to change that out. And we'll be working on that. And that's pretty much it right now. The wood floor is going to be the critical path right now for the gym.
So it sounds like there's been a lot completed, both inside and out on the site along that side and back area of Johnson.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of concrete that was just placed in that back patio because there's like 2 or 3 big pours back there. So yeah, it did come together in the last week or so.
And I don't see anything on here about the vestibule, but I understand that's been starting to move along, or at least get some resolve to it, or is that going to be talked about somewhere else?
We can talk about it now. Basically, where we're at there is we met again with Joe out on site to review. There's an issue there with a 2nd-story window that is interferes, or the canopy would interfere with. The last correspondence we got from Joe was, it sounds like we're going to remove or reduce the size of that window. That means we can move forward with the steel. We've already taken the large tube steel to the fabricator to have those cut. So at this point, we'll start to move forward and get the new steel out there that we need.
So there's some progress being made, which is a good thing.
There's some progress being made, yes.
Hey, Jim, how long will it take as far as on that steel? I mean, is there any sort of a schedule or completion on that?
Yeah, I'll know that better within the next day or two. What we were able to do with working with DTC was a lot of the items that they had called for galvanized didn't need to be because they were inside the space.
Right.
Didn't realize that, so that simplifies things quite a bit as far as timing goes. So hoping to have a better handle on that in the next day or two.
Okay, good.
Good, thanks.
Can I ask a question, Nance?
Sure.
I
Yes.
just because I was there today and with the kids looking at the playground going up, and my God, are they excited? When will we have access to it? Like they were just like, Dr. Carver, when are we going to be able to use it? Is that like after the fence goes up, or do we have to wait till more of the site work's done back there?
It would have to be after the drainage goes in first, and then the mulch, and that right now he's got that scheduled for, let's see, the drains on the 23rd of this month. So probably wouldn't be till the end of the month. And the fence, I mean, we do have to put the fence in, but I don't think that you need the fence. We would, it's only going to be a 2 or 3 day fence job.
Okay. But you'll be mostly out of that area at that time?
They're working their way out of there now. So when they're doing the fence, that it'll be a separation. There'll be, your side where the playground is will be wrapped up.
Okay. I just want to say, I think that the amphitheater looks great. It's really coming along. It's so much better than it was even a week ago.
That's good to hear. And
I can't wait to see like the doors open and the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's really going to be nice.
Ken, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
On the playground, is there any special inspections needed for that equipment? Does the manufacturer have to sign off that it was assembled correctly or anything like that?
I think Joe might be better for that one.
Joe Collada?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
that's actually not Rizzo's contract that's installing it. It's the town's contractor. So yeah, there are inspections that are required for that. The playground company inspects it, and Malone and McBroom will also inspect it, I believe.
Okay.
So there would be some kind of certificate or whatever for safety, that it was all done correctly and,
Yes, yeah, it's required by the state.
okay, so those would be filed with copies probably with the Board of Ed and with the state?
Yeah, with me, because I actually have to do that for the other playgrounds as well.
Okay,
That's the reason for my question.
Okay.
so, and back to Dr. Carver's question about, being able to use the playgrounds. Ken, I'm assuming that, like you were starting to say, that you really want to get your site work done in that whole area, in that back area, so that you're not driving equipment through there, et cetera, before you put those final touches on it, I would assume.
Correct. Yeah, we wouldn't be anywhere near it if it was going to be, opened up. We would have to be 100% out of that area. And that's the way it's working its way back towards where the new field is going to go, the alternate field. So there wouldn't be a reason for us to be in that area.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And I just also want to say it, like the back, I don't know if you guys have walked through lately, but you really should take a walk. The back area behind the new addition with the grass, it's just a lovely spot. It's going to be beautiful.
Well, we've talked about wanting to do something, because some of us haven't been up there in a month or so, or
Yeah.
drove by but haven't been in the building. So we were wondering, and we can talk about this later too, if there's a time, like later in the week, if we could meet and, or at least some of us, and I'm not sure who we would have to get together with to do a walkthrough.
Yeah, Bob or I could take you, either one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
It's
have to
great. I
figure
mean, don't get me wrong, there's still work to be done, but it's definitely looking a lot better.
Yeah, so I've heard both outside and inside, there's a lot to
Yes.
look at, a lot to be seen, a lot that's been completed. So,
Right.
Especially some of us who would do the drive-bys and we see outside stuff, but we never get to see the inside. It'd be good to do a walk around the inside.
Yeah.
So,
We can definitely arrange something later in the week.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about the Rockwell playground, or are we not there yet?
Well, we can get to Rockwell in a minute and,
Okay.
save it till then maybe. Does anybody else have anything else on Johnson? Questions for Ken and Jim on construction? Anybody? So should we put the Rockwell report up then?
Hey, Nance?
John?
Yeah, just, are we gonna talk about the wall, by the ball field, is that going up under the new business type thing?
It's not, if you have questions about it, you need to bring it up. It's
Well,
not,
I didn't know if we've gotten anything from a cost estimate or plans from Malone.
is that the wall near the the softball
Behind,
field?
right, behind the dumpster by the softball field at Johnson.
Okay, does anybody have any info on that?
John, I haven't received anything from Malone and McBroom on that yet, so I'll have to
Okay.
reach out to them.
Yeah, yeah, please do, because, right now we're on borrowed good weather time.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? I mean, if something comes up, and you have a question, obviously jump in and ask it. But we'll move into Ken's report on Rockwell.
Okay, for Rockwell, this page shows some of the work that we completed from the last report. And if we go to the next page, we've got some of the work that is in progress. So the bus canopy structural steel framing has been done. And so now we're going to be moving on to the, they have to do the decking, and then we'll get the roofer involved and start finishing up the sides and get the canopy completed, as well as the interiors for that entranceway. We worked on the drywall soffits in the music and special ed room. They just need to be taped and painted. I put the special ed, it's the music and faculty dining, so there was no soffit. The special ed room is completed. The roof edge metal is ongoing. We have the drywall for soffit and the calf, that was done. So that was a chase. Yeah, there was a chase there that had to be completed. So that was completed. The gym, we done some painting at the stage, and we're doing electrical for the lights now. We're emptying out the gym and getting ready for the leveling and the mitigation that's going to have to take place for moisture. So the work to be started, again, with the playground drains, they go in with the layer of stone, and then the site contractor puts the mulch in. So he said the mulch is local, so it's not something that we have to wait for. So that's those scheduled dates are the 16th and 18th of this month. And then the fence, the 23rd. And then I have the insulated glass ceiling at the bus canopy for the 16th, and that's provided that QSR gets the tube steel that supports it in place. And that's the only thing that waiting on that, and that's hopefully going to happen this week. And then we'll have the roofing at the bus canopy started. They going to be washing and waxing the floors tomorrow for the cafeteria. We have the mitigation and leveling of the gym floor wasn't scheduled just yet because we got to complete painting and a few other tasks in there. There's acoustical wall pads that are going to be going in place. And so that would happen just before the pour gym floor, which we have scheduled for the 1st of December. We're going over a little bit, but there's a few items that we're going to try to work on to see if we can stay as close as we can to the schedule, but a lot of it's related to the basically the holdups we had with the PCB removals of the slabs, and now that we got to fill them, so we're trying to work through these. But a lot of the items in the gym are finish to start relationship. So we can't put a lot of people in there at the same time doing different tasks. So we're trying to, we're going to have different trades working on different things in the gymnasium, at the same time, as long as it's not going to affect the quality or workmanship of what we're installing.
So you said like you're getting things like the wall panels and stuff like that done first before you pour that finished floor.
Yes, that's the goal, is to try to get as many things completed so that we're not going on the finished floor and marking it up at all. And yeah, that's definitely our goal for the gym in there.
Have they been working at all, either second shift or on weekends?
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
We've had different trades coming in at nighttime. Matter of fact, I think they're there right now, as a matter of fact, doing some final cleaning at Rockwell.
Okay. And then Christine, you had a question about playground?
Yeah, I just had a question about the Rockwell playground, and it might have been prior to the drains. But I noticed when we had a lot of rain, like a week or two ago, there was like a pool out there. It was like water was pooled up, and I don't know if that was pre-drain.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
These drains will definitely take care of that.
Okay. But it sounds like looks like the Rockwell playground is about like a little ahead of Johnson, or am I wrong?
It is. They started there first. Yeah. So they basically have that almost ready right now for us. And we do, the only drainage spot we have is, and Joe looked at it yesterday, was at the side of the basketball court. All the water drains off into one spot, and it's creating some erosion. And we're going to need to know what we should do in that area. I mean, at first, I think Malone McBroom wanted us to just stabilize the slope, but it's just going to wash out. I don't think it's going to hold. And I don't know, Joe, did you find anything out on that?
Yeah, he spoke to Dan, and he said that it has to be installed and stabilized, and he thinks it's going to be fine.
Okay, then that's what we'll do.
Okay. And my only other question is, are we like all set for the TCOs on both schools to get those areas that we need?
Sure, we walked through today both with Chris and Tom. Fire alarm was fine. Chris had that issue with the ensemble room at Johnson with the stiffening of the bar joist. But other than that, we had no issues. We did do the fire alarm also at Rockwell, just to try to get ahead of that. I think we're good for Rockwell by the end of the week, and I think tomorrow we're in decent shape for Johnson.
Excellent. Jim, when will they do the work on the supports in the ensemble room?
Well, we don't have that detail yet, so if we do, we'll be able to plan. At this point, we're gonna have to figure it out because you're gonna have furniture in the space, but we'll have to figure that out when we get it.
So who has the detail, Joe?
Yeah, that was coming from Corey at DTC.
Oh, do we anticipate that soon, Joe?
I'll follow up with that tomorrow as well.
Because I'd love to have that space.
Yes.
Hey, Ken, is there any update about the insulation
Oh, that's
above the ceiling?
Yes, he is getting back to me tomorrow on whether he'll be starting Friday. He had a few projects that he had to finish up. And he said that, let me know tomorrow. And he was gonna basically start on a Friday night. So it's either gonna be this Friday or the following Friday, where he would go in there and just start and do a room or two and see, you know, how it is the next day and make sure that it airs out fine. And then he'll know that, you know, he can, you know, he'll know how much ventilation he's gonna have to need, you know, while he's doing it. So that's the plan right now. Potentially this Friday or a week from Friday.
Is there a heavy duty smell with that?
There is, but it has like a 4-hour window before it dissipates. And he wants to be sure first before finding out that there's a problem. So
I think that's a good idea because
Right.
you know what's going to happen, Bob. We're going to get 90 calls
Yeah,
about some
Yeah.
strange odor.
So the plan then is he's gonna do it on a Friday after school and see what it's like on Saturday to find out, like, if it's okay on Saturday morning, let's say. Then he could probably do it on a Tuesday, you know, Monday night or a Tuesday night and be ready for school the next day. Is that kind of the plan? So we don't have to
that
wait.
is.
So it's not like we're gonna wait for every weekend. I mean, obviously, you
no.
could do a lot on a Saturday too, I suppose. And then let it sit Sunday and then school open Monday, but then there's a lot more that needs to be done. So then, you know, they'll know whether they can do it.
Right.
Week two. Okay.
You're also lucky with the weather.
Yeah.
Because it's not freezing.
Right.
Okay, so anything else on Rockwell?
Oh, did they finish the beams in the kindergarten space? I just haven't looked.
They did, and they were getting re-inspected. I gotta just check to see if he came today, but yes, they finished those columns.
Yeah, so they're gonna close them up, right, Ken? Like, are they gonna paint them?
Believe it was just paint. They were getting painted, yes.
Okay. And then just the floor is repaired, right?
Correct.
Obviously.
So any other questions or is this Ken?
Yeah, Nancy, I got a question for Joe again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe, again, did anything from Malone about the bus exiting on the Whittlesey?
Yes, yeah, we
Yeah.
issued revised sketches for that based on the walkthrough.
Okay,
So the first option is just altering the radius of the right-hand side by the bus stop sign.
right.
And then the second one was similar to the one that we originally issued to make both sides wider. So that's, I guess we're waiting for pricing from Earth Movers on that.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
And is that something, I mean, if we get a price together, we've got sketches, something that could be done pretty quickly and not have to wait? I mean, weather's gonna start to get colder. If it's gonna require paving, we have to get it done, obviously, before the asphalt plant's shut down. Is that? Can we make a guess?
Plan, yeah, we would like to get this finished before the plant's closed down. So I've been checking with him daily to try to get the proposal out of him. I will put more pressure on him tomorrow to get the proposal so that we can get this going.
Do we have any idea when the plants are closing? 'Cause I thought it was usually around Thanksgiving.
December 15th.
It's usually mid-December, like
Okay.
December 15th.
Okay, so we do have a little window.
Yeah, and sometimes they're a little, I don't know if they just always go with December 15th or whether they check the weather and,
It's kind of weather related.
When they do it, Joe or Ken or whoever, is it like, how do they do it with all the traffic that's going in and out? Do they do-
Good time, like if they, if it, in the morning, I mean, it doesn't take a real long time.
Okay.
So they could do it like right after the drop off and schedule it that way.
And what they were proposing there wasn't a big job. It was just widening those radiuses a little bit more. So they're not doing major construction there, Dr. Carver.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else for the reports there, Rockville or Johnson?
They're about to start the insulation on the roof. And now that they have the approval from DTC to proceed. And that's where they're at right now. So they'll get started on that, and that shouldn't take too long for them to insulate the ductwork up there.
Good. Anything else, or can we move along?
So just one last question.
No.
On the two schools.
Go ahead.
Are we gonna make our deadline, our date, or due date? Are we gonna be over, or how much over? If we're gonna be over, or?
Well, Ken just
Just
said,
a little.
yeah, Ken just said, if you look at the Rockwell schedule, it shows us going into mid-December with some
December
finishing up of the
14th.
gym. And so I don't know if there's any other update you have on schedule for us, Ken or Jim,
Yeah.
how it looks.
I'll get an update because there's the repair work that I have to also submit to you for the bathroom and bathrooms at Rockwell for fixing the floor that was had the deteriorated concrete. So that's going to be at the end of December, just because there's no other time to do it.
Yeah.
So as far as like the regular sort of scheduled stuff, we're kind of moving along, and maybe we're not hitting.
Yeah, in Rockwell, that gym is probably 6 weeks.
December 5th, but shortly
Right.
thereafter, but
The-
because there's some things that we had to put off for obvious reasons, with the buildings being occupied. We need to do it when it's not occupied, et cetera.
You were broken up quite a bit there, Nancy. I'm sorry. If you were asking a question, I didn't get it.
I'm guessing. Nope, it's okay. Okay, yeah, but different people have been, internet connection is unstable. I'm unstable. So, what I was saying was basically, we're December 5th isn't your obviously drop dead cutoff date, 'cause you have a few things going on after that are part of the regular schedule that's being pushed back a little. But you also have other things that, like the deteriorating floor area, that's got to be done when school's not occupied. So that's got to get put off. And there's probably a few other things like that are going to have to be put off to do whenever it's convenient, where there's not a large capacity of people in the building. And that's sort of a statement and question at the same time.
Yes.
Christine, when is the school holiday break this year?
The December 23rd.
Till the 1st or whatever?
Like this.
Yeah, till the 2nd. We come back the 2nd, unless the 2nd is a Saturday. I have to look.
It is a Saturday.
So there is a little window there that some of that work could be done in that.
Oh, yeah,
So that's already been planned.
right,
Some of it's already been planned, correct?
right.
Yes.
And you're not having any either earlier closing, at least for now, or later opening in that holiday time period because of COVID stuff, or
We have no idea.
like you're not gonna- I
Um,
know, I know. It
yeah,
changes every day.
it does. But I mean, I have no plans to change anything right now. In terms of like going to hybrid or remote, I definitely don't have any plans. We do the board did approve some early release days, but that's not going to be helpful. It'll be helpful for punch list things,
Hmm.
but not for like major work like that.
Right.
Jim and Ken, I'll email you the dates in December. Like tomorrow's an early release day, and then in December there's a couple of dates also. So it's probably a time where you can do punch list type things.
Okay.
Anything else with questions? We can move on to FF&E technology.
Yeah, so FF&E,
Pretty much a
yeah, so as to FF&E, on November 3rd, we were able to complete a lot of the furniture punch list work. We had desks replaced at Johnson, student desktop replaced. The teacher lecterns were all fixed, kind of modified. Some of the pieces were put together wrong. We installed the ice makers on the refrigerators. Just tried to wrap up the furniture punch list items from the first deliveries. And then for the spaces that are going to become available this week, so at Johnson, the cafeteria, the music room, the ensemble room, and at Rockwell, the SPED classroom, the music room, and the faculty dining. The plan is before the end of this week to have furniture installed that's been stored at the vendors that hasn't been delivered yet from the furniture vendors. We have 2 vendors that we need to schedule to bring furniture over. And then tomorrow, Myers is coming to empty the large gym at the middle school so that they have access then to their gyms, and bring all of the furniture and then the teacher box contents that had been stored up in the middle school back to the respective Johnson and Rockwell schools. We're going to primarily store things along the side of the cafeteria and in parts of the music rooms, so that the school community has access to those rooms, but we also have all of their belongings there in the schools and can set them up whenever appropriate. So that's action on furniture. The only things that we won't have installed is the things related to the gyms. So the PE offices, some of the PE storage, those things will be brought over to the schools, but they won't be in their final location. The health classroom at Johnson, we're going to try and consolidate all of the furniture back at the schools where it belongs.
So is that being done, like you said, you have early dismissal tomorrow, Christine? Is that being done tomorrow, like after?
Yeah,
Both.
Yeah, Myers is showing up in the middle school in the morning, but the idea is to spend the afternoon transferring everything to the 2 schools. Basically it was scheduled for the half day, yes.
Yeah, and they can go into the unoccupied spaces,
Yeah.
so they're doing a combination of things.
Yeah, and that's how we'll deliver the new furniture, hopefully Thursday and Fridays. They're delivering to to the construction site anyways. So, we'll do the typical, avoid the pickup and drop off times with the trucks and get as much furniture installed in those spaces as possible. And then they'll be available to use in some way, shape, or form on Monday.
Okay.
On technology, the AV contractor continues to work through the construction spaces. I think they have all of the monitors and the audiovisual systems installed. They ran in today. I heard that there were a couple of issues with the mounting brackets for the monitors. So we're going to have to move around some electrical outlets and wire mold like we have done in other parts of the space. So there's a little bit of work there left to be done. And on security, I know that they are, as of the end of last week or Monday morning, they've got, last week they had 50 cameras online. I know that they had added some cameras this week. End of last week, the software to monitor the cameras, I think Bob has access to now at this point.
I don't, but Dave does.
Okay.
It was a problem with my computer, that's all.
Yeah, so they're trying to install the software to monitor the cameras, but I guess they're running into firewall issues that IT has to assist with. So, but we're that far along with that. I know that there's still there's access control is operational, but there are some doors that are not permanently installed. The permanent doors are not installed yet. So security is working through those issues as doors are put in place. And the lockdown and the duress buttons have been tested with the monitoring company, but not, as far as I know, not an official test yet with all the parties, the police department, and everything, everyone that has to sign off on those systems, but they are in place and operational. So we'll be scheduling that coordinated inspection soon. I think that's good.
Well, Geraldine,
yeah.
what I need to keep on your radar is I need those network boards installed in the alarm panels.
Yeah, I know. And that actually is, that's a base building construction issue. That's a Ferguson issue. So we need Rizzo to continue to push them to get those boards and those panels operational.
Well, see, what's going to happen is once this is dumped in my lap, I'm not going to have any abilities at that point.
Yep.
Ken and Jim, did you hear that?
Yep. So we do continue to push that issue, resolve that issue with Ferguson. So that's technology and playgrounds. The playground equipment is substantially complete at both schools. I think there might be signage left to put in at Johnson, but all of the components are delivered, and probably 100% at Rockwell are installed, and they maybe have another day or so of work at Johnson. But we heard that earlier. The playgrounds look great.
They really do.
And I'm
Is there, I have a question. Is there any attic stock left over from the playground equipment? Extra bolts, things like that?
That I'm not sure what they owe us, but I'll check into it.
Yeah, please don't throw those away. They're hard to get.
Yeah. And the inspection that we were talking about earlier, that Joe Collada clarified about, is that something that has to be obviously done before it can be used by students?
Yes. So the installation company owes us a final inspection with like a certification letter for the primary installation, and then it's similar to there's an annual inspection on the equipment in any case. So this is sort of the first annual certification, and then we'll turn that information over to Bob for future.
Well, I share that with our insurance company.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anything else on that FF&E technology playground? Good to go. Time for the
budget. And of course, I didn't upload the tracking budgets with any percentages. Well, we'll just look at contingencies at this point and then I will also go through the combined project analysis. But for tracking purposes at Johnson, as of today, there is $1.9 million still in contingency. We've invoiced on the total project 33 million out of 39 million. So we're probably at, I'm going to guess, 87%, something like that. I'm sorry, I missed the version with the numbers on it, which tracks against where we are really with the project. At Rockwell, similarly, well, at Rockwell, not similarly. At Rockwell, we have overspent the contingency by $124,900. So obviously that's going to be coming off of the combined contingency with the project and coming off of the Johnson contingency. And again, here we've invoiced on the project almost $23 million to date on a $26 million project. So again, probably approaching almost 90% at this point. And tracking budget spent to date and going forward. This is our new analysis. Today, this section here at the top, today we'll talk about some PCOs that we are recommending be approved for each school. Whoops, but I shouldn't have a zero number there under Johnson. All right. Some pending review numbers, and again, totals on expected PCOs that will come in the future for which we do not yet have firm numbers. Additional fee requests from Perkins is shown here again, and some line items that show current balances where we may not expend all of that money. And again, at the end of the day, what we're showing right now, the contingency remaining at Rockwell is a negative 124,903, but a positive at Johnson of $1.9 million. So when we zero those out, account for all of the future costs that we are expecting to see, we're still projecting a little over $1 million in combined contingency available for the total project.
So, and Geraldine, on this one, don't take that away yet.
Yeah.
You're showing the construction manager contingency remaining. Is that close to what's there, or is that a guess? Or
so that is what's shown on there on the last application for payment from Rizzo. But as we know it's I don't know, Ken can speak to that again. I think it's sort of it's a bookkeeping issue where they continue to pay subs for change orders that are not yet approved or that are in the process. So what they're showing officially on their application for payment as a contingency remaining may not be what it is today, you know, in terms of money in the bank.
got it.
And I don't know, Ken, if you have an update to those numbers right now or not. I mean, you know.
No, I don't have it right now.
Okay. And actually, when we look at their current application for payment that we want to approve tonight, I can flip down to what they're showing currently for a construction contingency remaining.
There's some,
Can I ask just a clarifying question?
Sure.
So the 1,193,772, is that inclusive of what's in the CM's contingency, or is that?
It's not. So that is just what the owner has control over.
Okay. So if there's money in left over from there, it's just more.
Correct.
Okay.
so in looking at this kind of tracking budget, and then we also, I don't know if anybody has any questions on this. Because you also, Geraldine, gave us a kind of a tracking budget in a way for all the environmental
Yes.
numbers.
And it doesn't look like, oh, no, it doesn't look like yes, so I did. So I didn't upload a copy to the shared drive, unfortunately. But right now the total is at about $936,000. So that is the number that we are, that Dr. Carver, that we're using to request an increase in the approved grant budget from the state.
So it's actually on the town Zoom. If did people get a chance to, I mean, if you want
I can
to show it,
I can try and find.
I'd have to share it. It's on all the Zoom documents.
Okay.
So, but I'm not sure how we would do that if we need to look at it. If we don't need to look at it, then
I can do it pretty quickly. Um,
yeah, it's right there.
So Geraldine, while you're pulling it up, so this will be the documentation we'll use to submit with the letter.
Yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. I put a whole like 3-page narrative up there.
No, I haven't. I'll look at it tomorrow.
So I put up my narrative separately. I added it to your letter. It still needs sort of a conclusion. So maybe if you can look and see if we're approaching it correctly, but I do reference this
Okay.
attachment. So what this is a compilation of is a tabulation of all of the change orders that were approved for hazardous material abatement related work. And that totals 565, almost $566,000. This is over and above. This doesn't deal with the $250,000 contingency. This
Right.
is all of the money we spent in addition to the 1.2 million that was the base contract amount for demo and abatement. So these were all the change orders. And then the testing and monitoring that exceeded, so testing and monitoring agency, the Enviromed contract, the initial budget for those services was, I think, 32,500, something like that, 34,000. This 358,000 represents the additional money paid to Enviromed to monitor and to test during abatement at Rockwell. And then I added on the 11.9 for the plan for the Weston and Sampson plan to deal with the boiler room. And that's where we get the $936,233. That is what we are describing as additional money spent, unexpected money spent on abatement through the project at Rockwell. So
And this will be,
if in fact the state approves the request, they would increase the grant budget by this amount of money and thereby allowing a higher level of reimbursement. Because my understanding of the projects right now is that at the town level, the referendum was a total $65 million, $65.8 million number. So on the town level, we can slide money between the two contingencies. But on the state side, they're only going to reimburse up to the amount that they originally approved. So if we can get them to increase their approval by this 936, there will be additional money, reimbursement money available for the town.
so, and this, we're kind of done with the abatement monitoring and all that. So we don't have any other invoices coming in for it that we have to add to this.
That's correct. This is all the monitoring is done and all of the abatement costs have been tabulated.
Okay, good. So it looks like, and you talked about a letter to the state, et cetera, with this attached, so you have to put some final touches on that before you actually go. Is there some kind of time frame where you have to do this quickly
No.
so that?
I mean, no, I don't think so. I think we should do it soon. I think
Yeah.
Geraldine and I both agree.
Yeah.
So Terry and I spoke to the Office of School Construction a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was longer. And Michelle Dixon, who's the person in charge of the grants, she offered even to look at the letter before we submitted it. So I think, Geraldine, we should just talk in the next couple days.
Sure.
And then maybe wrap it up and then get it up to her as a draft, because she said she was willing to give us input
Oh, that would be good.
before we officially submit it to Costas.
That would probably be helpful, I would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, so we'll definitely put this on the agenda.
Okay,
I'll look at it tomorrow.
Yeah, I tried to, emphasize safety and
Yeah, I see.
schedule, and I said hazardous 100 times and, so.
I just glanced at it, so.
well,
So as long as the approach is correct, I mean, we can do anything we want with that information.
Right. And I have no doubt Michelle will tell us if we need to do or tweak or add.
and I think if you haven't, you can say how we, in putting the budget together early on, put in money for hazardous abatement extra. If we had a continue,
Right.
Yeah.
extra contingency. There was money in the budget, but then we added a contingency special specific and went through that, pretty quickly. So it wasn't like we as the town weren't planning ahead for it. We planned as
Yeah,
best we could, yet ran into much more than we could have known.
That's 100% correct. And Dr. Carver, you should try to emphasize that to him, because as Nancy said, we were very, very generous as far as the amounts that we put in there to start off with.
I know. I remember, and when I originally spoke to Costas back at the time, and luckily I actually documented our conversation to him. I
Yep.
forgot I did it, but then I found the letter.
Oh, wow, good.
So I think they're aware that was the case, and when we had the conversation. So we'll work through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It worst case, honestly, if they give us a hard time, we could always go for special legislation. But I mean, he assured me at the time, I think we just have to, they said we have to paint the picture of why we needed it. And that's what I think Geraldine is doing with this documentation.
And we are going to emphasize the fact that, the whole Johnson being under budget, so that it's clear we're not asking for additional money to come to Bethel. We just want to move it around the two projects.
On the allocation, correct. Yeah.
Right. Which is, I think, is probably in our biggest favor.
I think that's
And get the,
very
And
helpful.
and even at the end of the day, if we come in the project under budget, they're still going to save money.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's a lot of benefits of helping us.
Yep.
good.
So
All right, any questions on this? I think it's pretty clear. Next on our little bullets is change orders, but I wonder if we could do the boiler room first
Yep.
and then do change orders for invoices and all the money stuff after the boiler room. Which I don't know I know we have an invoice from Weston and Sampson, but I don't know as we have a report yet, John, right?
No, we haven't. Again, I reached out to Malcolm Beal and I have not yet received the report. I expect to receive it by the end of the week. And I will then forward it to the committee members for review. We can discuss it at the next meeting. But the invoice that we're going to review tonight is basically for the preliminary walking through the building, looking at the plans, meetings. And I believe he is just about ready to submit the plans to the both federal and state for their approval. But I'm hoping to have something by the end of the week that I can send out.
Sounds good.
Out of the 11.9 budgeted cost, I think the invoice is like $1,200, so it's not a lot of money. That's all.
And there's nothing much more on that we can do or talk about before. Okay. So now we're going into change orders and et cetera. Unless we have anything else before we start doing spend more money stuff. Okay.
So at Johnson, we're presenting 6 change orders tonight. They were all circulated earlier, so we'll briefly describe the issues here. I'm going to depend on both Joe and perhaps Ken to sort of back up the information. So at Johnson, PCO 55 is for ejector pump power circuits. The original bid documents apparently did not include the requirements for the circuits to the ejector pumps in the boiler room, and providing that power. Let me find the PCOs. Is at Johnson in the amount of $4,681.81.
Okay, so you gonna wanna you want to do each one as we go through instead of
Yeah.
just the spreadsheet, but put the change order up? Okay,
Yes, so this was in response to an RFI at Johnson, RFI 247. And the contractor pointed out that there was no circuitry designated on the electrical plans. And DTC came back with a lengthy response on how to power those pumps, including adding some breakers, moving some circuits to different breaker panels. And that's where the work landed and where the cost came from. And Joe, if you have anything to add to that.
No, I think you covered it all.
Okay.
So this is work that's already been done, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't, and it wasn't shown on the plan, so I don't know if we have much choice but to approve it.
And
Seems up.
the costs themselves were reviewed by DTC, so we believe them to be reasonable for the work that's required.
I make a motion that we approve this change order. Was it 55 or 56 or 55?
55.
Yep.
I'll second it.
55. 4,000, in the amount of $4,681.81.
81. Yep.
Who was the second, Gil?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, done.
All right, we also have PCO 61 at Johnson. This is for piping associated with roof drains. The drains were shown in the plan, but there were no pathway and no piping shown for the drain to drain the roof to underground. Again, this was in response to an RFI. And which I don't have here as part of the backup, but we do have all the quantities of piping, the labor, and all the information from the plumber to do the work. I don't know. I think that this was. I'm not sure of the location. Joe, do you recall? Is this the drain that was over the admin area, the behavioral health?
Yes, yeah,
visual-
it's the low roof in area A of the existing building. There was 3 drains and they only picked up piping for 2 of them. In the plumbing
And
part.
Joe is just an omission from the original plans. Is that?
Yes, yeah.
I make a motion that we approve 61 for 53, 30, 61, 3.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Gil seconds. Any other discussion or questions on these? All in favor?
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? Done.
All right, we also have proposed change order number 85 for Johnson School. This was to add phenolic panels above the windows at the cafeteria, and I will show you the sketch. So in this location, there was originally intended to be glass curtain wall where this peachy color is. But because when they got into the wall and saw where the structural steel was, steel joist here, steel support here, it was clear that we couldn't carry curtain wall window up to the roof overhang. And so to solve that problem, curtain wall and glass was eliminated and phenolic panels were added.
Composite metal panels.
I'm sorry, composite metal panels were added. The PCO includes a credit for the glass that was not supplied, but the panels were more expensive than having the glass curtain wall. And thus we have a change order in the amount of $9,015.65. And this, and just to add, this change order went back and forth a couple times to make sure that they did have the correct credits and that they were not charging us extra to have a lift, because they would have had a lift anyways to do the glass. So this change order was revised a couple of times in order to get the price right.
Make a motion, we accept change order, in the amount of $9,015.65.
Second.
So I just have a question about, so you said that we had a credit for the glass, but it was a credit, the glass hadn't been ordered yet. It was just the credit.
Yeah, but their
That's
price
out, but
includes,
Right, the original price.
Yeah,
included
they're-
that,
they're-
but in order to.
Right.
Yeah, so we're not getting stuck with glass or whatever. Okay.
Right.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, done with that one.
all right, Johnson 86. I would really love it, Joe, if you could explain this one about the classroom lock sets.
Okay. All right, so the classroom lock sets were specified as classroom intruder lock sets, which allows locking from the interior, which is usually our standard. Bethel's standard actually for classroom doors is something called a storeroom function, which allows the door to be, well, makes the door locked all the time from the corridor, and forces the user to remove the key before being able to lock it. The classroom intruder allows the flexibility to lock the door or leave it unlocked, which it turned out that the district did not want. So we issued a ASI to change out the classroom lock sets. This is at Rockwell as well, from the classroom intruder function to the storeroom function.
This is also something Christine has asked for as well.
Well, that's where it came from, right? Because that's this. Joe was explaining what you have standard pretty much throughout all your other schools and the other parts
Yes,
of
that's
other
correct.
buildings.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion that we approve change order number A6 for Johnson School in the amount of $12,153.17.
Second.
So that's a second from Roy, I think,
No.
or Dave Olson.
I just would like a further clarification on this because, I would have thought that this would have been picked up as part of the original specs. So I guess it wasn't.
No, I'm not sure if it was,
Well,
the specificity of how the classroom door lock functioned wasn't in the ed spec, and we had security meetings, and whether it was discussed or misunderstood as to the exact function of the locking, that the key had to be removed to lock it, wasn't picked up.
Hey, Joe, as a general rule, what are most of the schools? How are they normally set up?
We typically specify the classroom intruder, which
Okay.
allows the door to be locked or unlocked from the corridor side. And then in a lockdown situation, you'd be able to, if you had decided to leave it unlocked, you could close the door and lock it from the inside.
Inside, right?
But the way Bethel does it, the mandate is that the doors are to remain locked, and the storeroom function make sure that happens.
It's not just Bethel. After
Sandy Hook.
Newtown, many districts around us went to this.
Okay.
So what happened to the old lock sets? Where are the old lock sets?
They-
What are you-
They're still in the,
what are you talking to, Dino?
I don't think,
Anybody with an answer?
Curious.
I think they weren't ordered. I think this is a change to get these instead of the others. Correct?
No, it says change the
No.
lock sets is what it says.
The reason it's a change is because all the hardware was ordered and is now owned by the district. All the hardware was ordered over a year ago, right, when we started the project, probably 18 months ago.
So we do have it.
So the district will own 20, I think there's 25, well, let me back up. I think there's 40 or so at Johnson and maybe another 25 or 30 at Rockwell. You will own a piece of the lock that we're swapping out. So the entire handset and latching device is not coming out, but the locking portion of it is being removed and replaced with a new locking function.
right, the core, because we weren't unable to be able to modify the classroom intruder lock the core to get it to function as a storeroom function. We thought there might be a possibility of doing that, but when I talked to the hardware consultant, they said it had to be replaced.
Oh,
So they had already been ordered.
And they will give us any credit back on that?
What was that?
No.
So I think the question was we wouldn't get a credit for it because it comes all as one piece and you're taking the core out and putting a new core in. So this was something that they were ordered before we discovered that it wasn't what the school district was using.
Yeah, as I recall, this was discovered after the addition was built, right, Joe, during that punch list?
Correct, back in
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
That this year. And then we issued an ASI hoping to catch the remainder of the existing building in both school, well, at Johnson, the existing building, so before those were installed. And then at Rockwell, I think it was the first floor hadn't been installed at that point. But apparently they were all ordered already.
So is this $9,500 in materials and $2,000 for installation? Is that
it looks like.
That's
That's
what,
correct.
I think so.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and that does every classroom door at Johnson.
so
But
we
not
have
every door,
so
every
we've got
classroom.
$9,000 worth of lock sets
Yep.
sitting in a box somewhere that have no value to anybody. Is that a correct presumption?
I wonder if they could be
Yep.
used at the town hall.
What kind are they?
They're pretty heavy duty, I'll tell you that.
Well, it's just the cores, right?
Yeah, it's a key lock core.
So would they go into a best? Because I think that's what's all over town hall or the best.
Right.
It's the mortise part of the lock set. So it's like a cassette. It's gonna be a square mortise that fits right into the door.
So it's not the locking core then.
No,
Got it.
Yeah.
We'll have it tagged down. Any other questions on this?
Yeah.
We have a
one more.
motion.
Can I just have one suggestion of at least going back to whoever the distributor is there and see if we can get some sort of credit? At least ask the question.
they've already supplied the hardware and it was installed. So
Yeah,
they wouldn't be able to reuse the hardware. So they wouldn't be able to offer a credit. If they had something that they didn't supply and we were able to stop them in time, they, that would have been a possibility, but it would have had to been pretty early on in the project.
How about back to the manufacturer, Ken, just to see if we could, if there's any residual value?
Yeah, I could try, sure.
Just ask the question,
Okay.
because, I hate to see it go to waste.
Well, yeah,
I could check with our rep too to see if there's any recourse.
Because that's the only thing, is it possibly could go back to the best or whoever, that's the only spot I could possibly see it.
So then where do we?
I mean, I
do
think
we
we
do
ought to
with this?
approve, this, but, with the request that they at least go back and look at to see if there's any possibility of getting a credit. Or a,
We'll track that.
Okay,
yes.
so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
fine.
Aye. Anybody opposed? And we're checking on seeing if we can get a credit or some kind of a buyback or whatever.
Yeah, any sort of
Okay, thank you. Next one.
The next one is so this is PCO 92. This is to install rubber stair material at stair 1, which is the material that had been approved for stair 2. So a credit for the porcelain tile that was previously specified, and then the addition of the rubber stair tread material. And I believe this was at the request of the school, Joe, so that the two stairs matched.
I believe so, yeah.
Is this where, wasn't one of them, because one was porcelain, the other one was rubber, there was also some sort of like things weren't lining up because of the material, at least where it came down into a landing or was at the top of I don't remember exactly, but it was like incongruous the way it met with
that was
that
the,
part too.
the stairway by the gym there in Johnson that went down through, and it ended about 2 inches short. The tile work.
Is this the same thing or no?
I don't know.
Different.
Oh, do you,
It's different. Stair
Joe, is
4
that-
has the porcelain tile, and the stair 1
Okay,
is just the porcelain tile was not able to fit into the stair treads, and so it was left concrete with nosings, and the thought was see if it works out and everybody likes it. But as it turns out, the rubber tread that would match stair 2 is favorable than to leaving it the way it was at stair 1.
okay. Well, so I'll make a motion that we approve change order 92, stair treads at stair 1, in the amount of $2,345.18.
I'll second it.
We got a couple of seconds, Dave Olson, Roy. I don't think we need any more discussion on it because we just had a little bit of discussion. Unless anybody has any other questions. I'm good to go, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Done. And now we have 93.
and the last one is 93. And this one I'm definitely going to need help with. So this is the addition, this is PCO 93. It is the addition of framing and phenolic panels at the new addition exterior canopy. And I'm going to guess we're enclosing drain piping that I think changed over the course of the canopy fabrication. Is that
No, this is the horizontal piping from the drain.
Yeah, it
Turned
didn't,
out that it ended up being below the ceiling. So this is to enclose it and create a capital at the column. So the vertical piping is enclosed as part of the column enclosure that was already part of the set. But the horizontal, I think it worked out to be 2 feet or so, or 3 feet of worth of horizontal piping that was ending up exposed below the ceiling.
Well, hey, Joe, on that, why wasn't the design, enclosed in the ceiling? I mean, I don't
was-
understand what's,
Yeah, it was not accounted for.
as far as in the design, or was it just forgotten about later on during construction?
No, it was missed in the design. That we kept the canopy really thin, and the piping ended up having to go below and around the steel to get to the column. We couldn't get it to the column without going below the steel.
I don't know. I questioned this one a long time ago, when they didn't do vertical, column there. And I was wondering what was going on with that whole piping system to start with, and I was assured that it was going to be covered over, but
The
really wasn't-
vertical,
we were
the
gonna have
vertical
exposed- exposed pipe horizontal. I'm actually really surprised.
Yeah, the vertical pipe was enclosed, and I think you had asked about the 2 pipes. So one is the
Correct.
overflow drain.
Correct.
Right. So one is the overflow that daylight has to go to
Right.
daylight. And then the other
Understood.
one is piped. So the verticals are enclosed, but the 3 feet of horizontal ended up being exposed. So this is to enclose it.
But that's just for 3 feet up in the ceiling area. It's for
Yes.
$9,000.
Yes,
Wow.
because it's framing, it's phenolic panel.
Unbelievable.
And you felt that's a justifiable price? Yes, no?
Yeah, I mean, it
Yes.
matches the other phenolic panel prices that we've gotten on the project. So they've been,
So has this been
they've been-
reviewed? And
yes, yeah.
And this is work that's already been done or not, or what?
Has not been done.
It has not. Good.
It probably has to wait until they finish up that vestibule area.
This is at the,
No, it's at the 5th grade.
I mean,
Oh,
we could
Further.
reduce the size of the framing around it to be minimum.
I-
That would reduce the price.
I'd like to see that happen.
Okay.
I think that's ridiculous. I really do. I'm very surprised at this. Yeah, I'd like
So
to
this
see if
one's
we
going
could work it in somehow, up, or minimize it, or work it into the existing ceiling where it should have been. I mean, it might be worthwhile.
There's a
changing-
beam, there's beams that the pipes couldn't cross. So that's why they had to go where they went to get to that column to come down.
Okay. Well, maybe we could minimize it and just have one small jut there that just takes care of the elbow or something.
Yeah. All right. Ken, I'll revise the sketch and send it to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, then at Rockwell, we also have 5 PCOs to review.
I'm sorry, Geraldine, before we finish, Johnson, I just have the 2 over there, Ferguson, with the conduit. Really not much of an update from them. After our last meeting, I went back to them explaining we had tracked all of their labor on it, came to about $90,000. And then we would expect to get some sort of a credit for what was installed. They're insisting that $90,000 reflects only the new work. The last I spoke to them on Tuesday, they were going to revise their number or look at their number. When I followed up with them on Monday, they had no new information for me other than to restate that they were, at that $99,000 number.
So that you're saying, Jim, the 99,000, is that for the feeders that was, we were at 125 at one point, right?
Right.
Yes, yes. And we tracked that at about $90,000.
Uh-huh. Tracked it,
What's-
meaning, that with their tickets and stuff.
Yes, that would be their tickets to install all that work through the cafeteria.
Yeah, we're now carrying $99,700 for that change order.
And Jim, what's your feeling at this point? You think that's it for, as far as we're gonna go?
For a company that prides itself on change orders, they're not very prepared for this one. Their argument isn't very sound. It doesn't make a lot of sense that, that how could their tickets only be for the new work? The tickets only track the work they did to install through the cafeteria.
Right,
At some point, they owe the town what they would have done through the corridor.
right.
So I find it, that they want to argue that logic doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What I'd like to do is go back to them again and say, look, this is where they're at. You've got a total cost of $90,000. Then that doesn't include what you would have given them for the conduit through the corridor. And this is where they're at. So see what the reaction is there. See if there's any break in this.
Yeah, I appreciate that approach. I think that's well worth another shot.
Okay. And then the other person.
I would agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. I'll let you know, or let Geraldine know when I hear back from them.
Great.
Third is QSR with the change order for the changes to the steel at the addition. It's been a while since we spoke of this, so a quick refresher. They had submitted a cost of somewhere around $35,000. They had submitted their pricing late, although they don't think they did, but they did. They were timely on the notification of the change, but the dollars didn't come in till much later. There was a suggestion from the board to offer them 25. I've gone back and forth with them a few times. They're essentially down to 30 at this point, and feel as though they've reached the end of the line, and their next recourse would be to file a notice and proceed legally.
And what's your opinion on that one?
Are
Jim?
they,
There's a case where, I think the 25 was fair. Is it worth another 5 to be done with them? I'd want to go through again and take a look at his numbers and make sure that's not, he's not getting anything he shouldn't get in there, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
I somewhat feel the same. I think it's almost worthwhile, I'd like to be done with it for an extra 5, but that would be my opinion. But
right.
so you're saying, Jim, that you're gonna the numbers.
Yes.
And are they doing the work now, or are we still waiting on them?
Sorry, Nancy, I lost a lot of that, but I caught the end. This work is long done. It's the steel for the addition at Johnson.
Right, okay, so it's done. We're just haggling over numbers now. We're gonna check in with them one more time.
Didn't catch
Is that what I got,
one.
or no?
I didn't catch that one. I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay, my internet connection's unstable. We're all unstable. So you're gonna check in with QSR again? on
I don't think
this,
there's
or
much of a check-in. I think I've pushed them as far as it's going to get pushed.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't see them coming down. The only thing I would look at is to make sure that 30 is a reasonable number based on the work that they did, the material prices, the labor that they show, everything else. It's been a while since we've looked at that number. So I would just want to confirm that. I think if that is the case, then I would recommend that this be something you consider to be done with this and put it behind you.
Yep, I would make that as a motion, Jim, and, if you could review that and,
Okay,
just as,
so you're gonna check on it then.
Yes.
So Yeah, if Jim can review that, I think we need to have the actual change order then to be able to make a
Good.
motion to do it. So,
Correct.
okay, good.
And just to follow up on that, as I recall, the original correspondence from QSR was sort of in the form of a letter, and I would like to make sure that it is, quantities are documented and, you know, dollars per ton of steel or hours and rates, you know, we need to have all, we're gonna need to have all that backup.
And I agree, Gerald. And that's why I said I'd like to look at the 30. If I need to go back to him to have him document it better, I can do that.
Okay.
That would be helpful. Thank you. So that's Johnson right now. Is that, we're good with Johnson right now?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure there weren't any other outstanding ones that we needed to continue to either review or get more info on.
So we'll start on the Rockwell PCOs. Number 57 is similar to the one just reviewed at Johnson. There was circuitry missing on the bid documents for the ejector pump in the boiler room. And so this was to provide power to the ejector pump. And this one's in the amount of $4,415.95.
Make a motion to approve it.
Got a second from Dave. Any discussion on this or explanation or any of that? Which one is it? Which number is it?
57.
57, okay. Got it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Done.
All right, I believe we've seen this one before, and it has come back to us because there is no change to the amount of, to the proposed cost of this work. So this is PCO 78. This is this was the cost, was done on a time and material basis to remove the unstable CMU wall above the media center roof, or above the media center ceiling. I think what we've discussed before is that it was, this demolition had to be done sort of, they hand demoed, hand carried the materials out. At the time that the unstable CMU block was discovered, the media center at Rockwell had already been fully renovated. So, so what looks like a very high cost of demoing CMU block is really due to the circumstances under which they had to do the demolition.
And is there any part of this that was, I mean, it was loose, it had to be done and replaced. Was any of it having to do with any, like, were there PCBs or anything in the block?
There were not.
Can we add? Okay, so it's just straight demo. Can't add that into the.
This was
We couldn't add that into the going to the state to move money around thing.
not honestly, no.
No, okay. So, and I know you had originally said it was extremely high cost, but as you're saying now, the way they had to remove it, not just taking it down, but carting it out of the building had to be done a different way than they normally would have if they were just doing generally demo.
That's correct. And I think like some of the circumstances Jim was talking about, I think we've pushed this one as far as we can and they're not budging. That again, the work was done on a time and material basis. So we have all the tickets for the hours they spent and the number of men that were on the crew and the materials that they needed. This again, because the media center was completed, they put up essentially a containment as if they were doing abatement, but really just to protect the rest of the space from the dust and the dirt and everything that was going on. So
Right.
we believe the amount of work that was done is accurate, and just it's just a high cost based on the timing of the work.
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Okay,
22,654.17.
I'll second it. And we already had some discussion, but is there any other discussion or questions on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Done.
All right, at Rockwell, we also have the classroom lock set change. Let me see if this is it. Yes, PCO 87. Similar to Johnson, we are swapping out the cassette that includes the mortise and the key lock core. Fewer doors here at Rockwell, different hardware supplier, so the costs vary a little bit. This is in the amount of $7,992.92.
Make
So
a
I'll make-
motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
So who made the motion? Gil seconded. Who made the motion?
I made a motion, Roy, that's Roy.
I presume with the same request to see if we can get a credit.
And
We will.
Yes. thanks for that, Dino. So we've got this motion, second discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Done.
At Rockwell, PCO 95 is to replace the carpet in the admin workroom. So in this is an area where PCBs were discovered in the slab during the summer of 2019, but we needed to finish this room and put it into service, be usable by the admin as part of the admin suite when they went back to school in September of 2019. So we basically just carpeted it over so they could use the room, and then had to go back. And this is one of the areas where we actually ended up taking out the slab in order to abate the concrete. So this is the cost to replace carpeting in that area.
And that's after the slab was taken care of. et
slabs,
cetera.
yeah, the slab's out, the new slab's in. This is the cost to carpet that workroom. We had one round of carpeting, which we put in, for last year. This will be the final carpet, $1,600.76.
I make a motion, we accept, approve the payment of $1,600.76.
Who was that said second, Dave?
Dave.
Okay, so that's a complete explanation. I don't think we should have any questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Done.
And the final change order is, we always like to end on a high note. The final change order is a credit. So this is change order 96, and there was the original design had a wall graphic in the cafeteria, but the graphic, as it says here, was eliminated because it could not adhere to the existing concrete masonry unit wall that was designated for the mural. And there are murals in other parts of the school, so I'm hoping that it means the design team didn't feel that this was a real detraction. But we'll get a credit back in the amount of $2,867.16.
I make a motion, we take that.
Credits are always nice.
Dave says second, so all in favor? Aye. We don't even have to discuss it. Opposed? Everybody's good.
All right, that's it for change orders.
Yay.
We need more of those.
We try. Actually, many of the change orders include a credit in there someplace. So this one just happens to be total credit.
Okay, so moving on to the next item on the agenda, the professional services additional service requests. I did circulate a letter to members of the commission that we received from Perkins Eastman and Joe Costa asking us to get moving on this. And contrary to maybe popular opinion on be a part of Perkins Eastman. We have been moving, we've been meeting, we've been discussing, we've been looking at the budget. We are extremely concerned about the budget at this point, especially at Rockwell. Yet I see that I think the numbers that Geraldine had in her tracking now with where Perkins Eastman is with construction administration and comparing that to the original amount that they had requested. So it's lower than obviously the 124.25 for Rockwell and the 184 for Johnson. So we, as I said, have extreme concerns about our budget, especially at Rockwell. We're in a position right now where at Rockwell our contingency's gone, and at Johnson we do have a considerable amount of contingency left. And again, we've had the discussions earlier as we were talking about going to the state to see about getting more money onto the Rockwell budget so that that can be reimbursed, etc. I know we can't do that with these fees. The state definitely wouldn't be okay with reimbursing this in moving it to Rockwell. Although there is some reimbursement that can be had for that. Some of the discussion we've had recently, we talked about how we as a building commission and working with the cost estimators, et cetera, came up with amounts that we had to put in as contingency for the project. Yet once we're out of that contingency, if we're out of money on the budget, we can't go back and ask for more. So we're still tracking this. We're still looking at it. We're still considering it. And
Yeah, I agree with you, Nancy.
in the letter, I have to, yeah, go ahead.
But I agree, Nancy, as far as where we are now, we're close to the end of the project, and I think we want to see the completion. But, I mean, my own feeling is that I don't think we're saying no to Perkins and Easton as far as additional expenses, but I don't feel comfortable at this point of the project, moving forward on this. I think we ought to get through the project as we're going now. And, we've been having Perkins and Eastman bill us for the extra services and what have you as they come up, which I think is a very fair way of doing it. And at this point, my own feeling is just to let this keep moving forward now, and we look at in the next month and a half or whatever it might be, and look at it, more as a total at that time, because even the amounts have changed considerably over the past 6 months.
Nancy, I also agree with Roy on this. Again, I'm not opposed to revisiting this maybe in December. I mean, as we reported tonight, we're probably at the 90% mark in this project for completion. So we're looking at probably second meeting in December. And I think the committee can reconvene on this and come back with a couple of recommendations. I mean, again, I'm not opposed, for work that they performed to be reimbursed for, but at this time, I'd like to see just hold off until we get to a completion point.
I appreciate that input from Roy and John. I would have to say that in looking at, again, at the letter from Joe Costa from Perkins Eastman, I can't see this as compensation for expanded scope, as I believe this, anytime the scope has been expanded, we did receive something from Perkins Eastman to cover, they asked us to cover that, and we did. I think it would have to be looked looked at in a different way and not specifically expanded scope. And Joe Collada, I appreciate each month you're updating us with where we are in construction administration and comparing that to the original request. So that's helpful also as we see where we are moving along with that part of the budget. Does anybody have any other input or questions on this? We continue to look at it. We continue to track it. We continue to consider it. And again, I think we would be considered poor stewards of the town's money if we didn't compare it with the budget and with the direction that we're moving in with the budget. Because we still, I'm sure we're going to have more change orders if we're still looking at that Ferguson one, et cetera. So, you know, we have to take those in consideration too. Any other input on this?
Nancy, do we have
Dave?
a current cost from them yet? Actuals to date? You know, originally
From whom?
we had a planned expenditure by month and some totals. And the last time we talked about numbers, they were substantially underrun on the
Yeah.
estimated cost. So where are we on that today?
So if you look at the screen that Carolyn has up, additional fee requests, it's about halfway down. She has 90,000. This is all Perkins Eastman. She has 90,000 for Rockwell and 150 for Johnson.
Yep.
And that's the most recent numbers that we've gotten, I believe, from Joe Collada.
Okay, and that's to be compared with 300.
So that's where we
was originally there, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, yes, compared to the 184-ish from Johnson and the 120. So it was, that's upside down. It was 184.8 for Johnson and 123 for Rockwell.
Okay.
So
Got it.
that's comparing those numbers. Okay,
Yep.
okay, good. So we continue to track.
Nancy,
Yeah, Rich?
could you just go over those two numbers again? I'm sorry, I can't read the bottom number that you just read. What is the current billing for those two schools?
For Perkins Eastman?
Yes.
So the tracking numbers that they are finding is at 150 for Johnson and 90 for Rockwell.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
okay, good.
That's
You're welcome.
total. Some portion of that has already been spent, right?
No, so these are where we are right now with what Perkins Eastman is tracking themselves in their expenditures for construction administration.
But I think it does include time already spent and a projection forward to the completion of the project. Am I right, Joe?
I thought it was,
I think so.
Yeah.
I thought it was where we are right now.
So the original amounts in the ASRs were the amounts that we calculated we spent over our original scope for CA services. And then the 90 and 150, I think that must be projected out to December, would be what we've spent against that since March.
Okay, so that still doesn't tell me what's the total money that has been spent to date?
Those two, the 90 and,
Yeah.
that's projected out to December, Jarlin, in the spreadsheet. I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find what I sent you.
Yeah, it was an email, but I
Yeah.
think you just gave me, I don't know. I just took the totals.
Yeah, because my numbers, I thought we were tracking at about half of what was in the original
I don't think so.
ASR.
That's what I thought it was also, Joe. That was what I recall.
And
I can't find mine either. I'm just searching.
I know I have it here. It's just buried in the thousands of emails.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Let's see. When did I send that to you, Geraldine?
Yeah, I'd have to go looking for it as well.
Nancy, did I copy you on that too?
I don't think,
No, that's not it.
I remember seeing that.
I think I sent you an update at some point. Where is it?
I'm not finding. So Joe, your remembrance is the 90 and the 150 would be projected out to completion in December, but that we're at,
What I thought,
yeah.
but I'm not sure what Geraldine included in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, because for me, I think you just sent me a summary by email. I don't think I saw a spreadsheet, so I just kind of rounded up or out, or.
Yeah.
But I thought it was both real hours spent to date and then projected ahead on that same trend
Yes, that's
or
what
to
it
the
would
end
have
of
been.
the project.
And now my computer is frozen.
Because we're all unstable. We need to start drinking.
So how about at our next meeting, we have the original proposal, original contract cost, the actuals to date, and the estimate to complete.
So by original contract cost, Dave, you mean the contract amount that was the original contract amount for the project?
Yeah.
And then,
Plus any change orders that we've approved.
so say it again, Dave.
So original contract.
Yep.
Approved change orders. Current estimate, no, current actuals to date. And estimate to complete. That is from the date of those actuals to the end of the contract, end of the project. So it's almost there, except for that last element.
Yeah, okay.
The actuals are missing from this chart, right?
Right.
The actuals to date.
This would be broken down into presumably an
Well,
actual.
this is a, well, but this is the project. You're looking for Perkins Eastman amounts, Dave, or?
Perkins Eastman, right, that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yep. So Joe, can we get that?
Yes. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Original contract plus change orders, actuals to date, estimate to complete.
Okay.
Me. All right, so now we have to move into invoices, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So should we start with the Rizzo application for payment?
Surely. And again, all of this was included in everything that was sent out. So where are we with Johnson or Rockwell?
25, Johnson.
Okay. I'm getting mine out so I can mark them when we complete them, so I'm organized. So I make a motion that we approve Rizzo application for payment for Johnson School application number 20 in the amount of $520,973.54.
Motion.
So that's my motion. Do I have, was that a second, Roy? Okay. Any questions, et cetera? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Done. Whoop. And then for Rockwell, I make a motion that we approve Rizzo application for payment number 20 for Rockwell School. Oops. The amount of $537,205.32.
I'll second that.
Second from Roy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Done. Where's my other? So just kind of toss them up there, Gerald, and I have a whole bunch of them here. I hope I have them all.
Weston and Sampson.
Okay. So I make a motion that we approve the Weston and Sampson invoice number 112-00520 in the amount of $1,200.
I'll second.
So was that, I think it was Gil,
Right.
and this is for Rockwell School. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Done.
Multiply.
Which one? John.
Johnson.
Okay, make a motion. This is playground stuff, I'm assuming.
Yes, so this is everything short of the installation. So this is all of the equipment, the shipping, and then there you see there a little adjustment. That was a way for them to make their number come in at the estimate that was approved by the building committee originally. So next meeting, we will see the invoice for installation.
Okay, so there's a bunch of pages attached to it too.
Yeah, it's really just the cover.
Anyways, so I make a motion that we approve the invoice from Utiliplay, invoice number 9845 for Johnson School in the amount of $153,752.
Second that.
Second from Roy, all in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
opposed, done. And then
Similarly for Rockwell.
make a motion that we approve the invoice for Rockwell School from Utiliplay, invoice number 9844 in the amount of $111,213.00. Second? Anybody?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Done.
Arco Rooter.
Yeah, what's this? Do we have to pay this? Anyways,
So, well, and there will be additional invoices from Arco Rooter. So the background here is that, as we have heard over time, the sanitary drain that is located near the nurse's office has backed up a couple of times. And through the construction project, Rizzo has arranged to have it snaked multiple times now. On this date, on 10/28, it was snaked, it was inspected, it was scoped. There were no conclusions from this action, as I recall, and they were back last Saturday. Ken, was it just this past Saturday? Yeah, I think they were back just this last Saturday, did another scoping.
Yes.
And actually, yeah.
Last Saturday was underground surveyors. They're
Okay.
the ones that did the report. They told them they could do the pitch. And when they came out here, they did identify where the dip was in the pipe. But they weren't able to give you exact pitch all the way, but
Yeah.
identify where he feels the problem is.
so
So honestly, it's not clear. I said, send me the invoice, but it's not clear to me whether this is a project invoice or a maintenance invoice, but it's $300 to try to figure out what is the problem at Johnson with that line. So I think I'm recommending that the project pay it. Now that we have the report on the pitch of the pipe, I think there's going to have to be additional discussion on what to do, or whether to do anything, or whether to just continue to snake the line to keep it clear. There is supposition that there's an issue with low flow fixtures that are not running enough water through this this pipe that is pitched, that has a low spot in it, and so the pitch is not perfect. I'm not sure where we're going to go with this problem, but at this point, as part of the sort of research into what was causing the issue, we did have Rizzo call Arco Rooter to have this snaking done.
Hey,
So-
Carolyn, I have sent that report to DTC for their review.
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple of initial comments back, but I want them to clarify them. So I'm hoping to have some recommendations for this pipe by Thursday.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this has to be on the front burner too, we got to get this resolved, whether it's part of the project or not, we're dumping more into it. There's got to be something going on here, but this has got to be resolved, I think, as quickly as possible.
Yep, okay, well, I'll make a motion that we approve invoice number 73730 from Arco Rooter for Johnson School in the amount of $300.
Second,
Roy seconds, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we're hoping to get an answer on a fix for this, because I think keeping snaking it is not the answer.
No.
Can't do that.
For now, obviously, but, all right, so we got special testing laboratories. I've got that here. And that is Johnson. So I make a motion that we approve invoice from Special Testing Laboratories, invoice number 34698 in the amount of $985.
Second,
I got a second, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Done, and the next one,
Also STL at Rockwell.
Rockwell. Make a motion that we approve the invoice number 34699 for Rockwell School from Special Testing Laboratories in the amount of $680.
second,
Roy seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Done.
IES,
So I make a motion that we approve invoice from IES, invoice number 15271 for Johnson School, period ending September 27, 2020, in the amount of $2,346.25.
Second that.
Roy seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, done. And then for IES for Rockwell School, invoice number 15270 in the amount of $2,538.
Second that.
Roy seconds it, all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
opposed, done. Now we should have 2 for STV.
yes.
Johnson. Make a motion that we approve invoice from STV, invoice number 90016835 in the amount of $30,000, $30,607.50.
Second that.
Roy seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, done. Then the next one for Rockwell from STV, invoice number 90018636, in the amount of $18,560.50.
Second that.
Roy seconds it, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, done. Do we have any from Fergus Eastman? No,
No, we are still
I don't
missing,
have any.
they missed an invoice, yeah, that we're still looking for. So we did not have one for.
Okay, so they gotta get that. And then I have some from Environmental Systems Corp. For security.
Oh, you do?
Rock-
I didn't see those, so they were not circulated.
Well, they probably just came in because they're dated October 29.
Okay.
So do you usually get them from them in an email or?
No, those actually usually come, you know what, Lauren Cunningham, I think used to send those over to me, a copy, because I don't get them directly from ESC.
So should I?
And now I think the new person probably didn't realize that, so.
I think, because I think I got these maybe today or
Okay.
something from the mailbox, not like the public site mailbox. So should I scan them and send them to you?
That would be great.
Okay,
We can deal with them at the next meeting.
yep. So you want all the pages?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll do that. And then I have, that's it. Oh, wait, do I have? Crown Castle, was that something that we did already?
We should be done with Crown Castle.
Okay. I think this is an old one. There was like the Board of Ed got a invoice that was a whole bunch of money, but only part of it was for the project, and we
Right.
dealt with that. Okay,
Yeah, and I thought we even dealt with
So
the
that's what this
individual
is.
invoice.
and then what else is here? So I guess that's just it, the environmental, the ESC and the Crown Castle that we already did. Okay. So I'll scan those when I can and send them to you.
Great.
Okay. All right. I think that is it for this evening for our school projects. And we've got a bunch of different things that different people are working on, making sure they get info for. And we're moving along pretty well. And anybody have any other questions, comments, etc., before we finish up with this part? Just don't go away because we have other stuff to do.
I was hoping that possibly Thursday afternoon or so, I don't know, Darlene, whether your schedule worked, whether we could get together, just walk through.
So Thursdays, we have the job meeting at
Yeah,
2
late.
o'clock and it doesn't usually end until almost 5. So it
Okay,
depends on what time. Oh, and it's dark by then, actually now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Friday,
Well,
Friday.
Look at your schedule and just talk about it.
Well,
Okay.
so would Friday work for some, I mean, I don't know if, who we need to meet with to do this. I don't know where Bob, he's not still on, I think.
If it was Friday morning, that works good. Before lunch would work better for me.
Okay. Let me I'll talk to Christine or to Bob and make sure that the schools are aware and,
Or next week,
Right.
either way, or next
I-
week, whatever works for people.
Right, because school is in session right now, so we have to think about that during the day. The other times we've walked, it's been after school, so it's been 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
But then we have to do outside real quickly before it gets dark and then go inside. So we might have to be in touch with Dr. Carver and there is school tomorrow, which is Wednesday, Veterans Day. Municipal Center's closed.
but they're only in school until about noon
Tomorrow,
tomorrow,
yeah.
12:30, I think, at Johnson.
So we'll have to check in with whoever wants to do that, and you got to make sure there's not a quorum like that. Check in with Dr. Carver about that, and see what would be the best way to arrange that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Yeah, but I know we want to get that done soon, so, okay. Anything else?
Would you let me know when you pick the time for that walkthrough?
Sure.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anything else? Are we good for now until all right, so just let me point out quickly, I know some people have already jumped off, but so the next meeting is scheduled for the 24th of November, which is a couple days before Thanksgiving. And I assume that not a whole lot of people are traveling too far this year for Thanksgiving, so I think we should be good for the meeting. Does anybody have any issues or problems with that?
No.
We're good? Okay, good. Great. So we'll keep that on that date. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Okay, we're gonna move on to police station and school folks. Thank you so much. And
99.
yep, good night. We'll be in touch with everybody about whatever else we need. So, Kathy, gonna have to, you're muted. You're gonna have to, I don't even know how to do this, but we'll start, I guess you have to make me
I'll make you a co-host.
co-host. And
Good
then,
night.
I'm making one right now. Look at my cat. Do you see my cat at the top of my refrigerator? Crazy cat.
all right, where'd everybody go?
All right.
All right, there we are. So. I have to make that a little smaller, and then I have to look at the documents. I've never done this before, so I'm trying it out for the first time. And so I'm going to put up how do I do screen sharing? I can see it, but I don't know if you can.
Nothing's coming up yet.
All right, so what I have to do is I have to choose screen share first.
Yeah, you have to choose the screen, share screen, and then it'll come up with options and you do the one where you see all of us on it.
So where do I get share screen from?
But at the bottom of the screen, it says at the bottom, it says share screen.
Yep,
Click on there and then you gotta choose the one with all of us in it.
yep.
And then you find your document. Because it'll open it up to your desktop. There you go.
So couple things going on right now with the police station. And first of all, I got to make sure everybody didn't leave because 1, 2, Menti is here, Dino's here, Gil is here, and Roy is here, and I'm here. That's 5, so that's everybody. All right, so I had an email a week and a half ago from a little bit more than that from Ryan Patrick saying he wanted to send an application for payment, which is what we're looking at right now. So he sent it. I received it on the 31st of October. This is it. The amount that you see there, $72,827.77, is pretty much what we owe them to complete. So if we look at the other pages here, and I had sent this around to everyone so you can look at it more. It shows that there's pretty much everything is 100% except for there was an amount of what they're calling retainage owed to CT Masons, like $2,500, which is basically what what they're saying is going to be their quote retainage. And get another thing up, which I also sent around. My internet connection's unstable too, whatever. There's that. I sent this around too. It's a bunch of emails. I'm not going to go through that right now. There's another one. I had an email. I emailed Chris Baldwin to ask where we were at the COs. Downs asked for money. We don't have a CO yet. So the CO is not complete. Jeff Anderson and Downs it's a drain pan that needs to drain a different way because it's actually right near the panel box, and then the flashing in the roof where there continues to be a leak. Those seem to be still outstanding items that have not been completed. And what Ryan said in an email to me was that the CO had not been issued, but Downs doesn't feel that those 2 items are life safety issues. The building department should go ahead and issue the CO. My understanding is that Chris Baldwin's not going to issue a CO until those things are done that he said to be done, those 2 things. So on this page, they talked about, this is from Downs, the amount of monies that they were retaining were basically, it was a large amount actually to earth movers, some for carpentry, A&A drywall, the signs, some locker stuff, Mega Mechanical, Ferguson, and Signet. And some of it was that, if you remember, this time last year, right at this time last year, November, September, October, November were when we had a number of issues that were outstanding. Starting in the summertime, we had the flagpole lights. And then when we had Brian Humes come out and the fellow from the flagpole light place, the distributors, et cetera, look at them, see what the problem is. We did a walk around and we found several other items, which is why we have earth movers on here. There were grading issues and the drainage issues and the tactile warning strips, et cetera. All that stuff got done like September, October, November, December last year. So by then they were complete, maybe January-ish, except for those few outstanding items, and they're still outstanding. So my feeling is that we do not act on their application for payment until those items are completed and we have the CO.
I agree, Nancy.
Anybody have any? Okay.
I agree, and I think we'd like to hear what the report is still back on the firing range, even though it's not directly related, it is related. So I think it's worthwhile understanding that also.
Yeah. Well, so we have the report, my understanding is that report is, so this was again, and I think I did send this all around, and it's in those Zoom documents. If you're uncertain of whether I did send it in an email or you can't find it in an email, if you go to this is what I did to share this. It's easier for me than trying to put it on a thumb drive or have it on my desktop. If you go to the town website, and on the left-hand side, I can even show you what it looks like. This is the town website. See it? Over here, usually, if I go to that, because I'm online right now, it's not something I've saved. Right over here on the left-hand side, it says Zoom documents right there. If I click on Zoom documents,
Okay,
and I choose a category, I can choose any, there's the Public Site and Building Commission, and then I choose a subcategory of today's meeting. Those are all the documents for today's meeting.
Oh,
All the school ones, all the police ones, they're all just kind of mixed up in there, but if you go through and look at them,
okay,
that's
good.
all stuff that's on the shared drive for the school. Yeah, all that stuff's on for the shared drive for the schools too. But, I asked Nick to put them up so we could discuss them in tonight's meeting, which, has the agenda, has the minutes, and then it has all the stuff I was just showing you from Downs, et cetera. And this with, oh, that was the other one. We don't want to look at that one. We want to look at, nope, not that one either. Oh, these were the open items. This was an email that was going back and forth between Chris Baldwin and Downs a few months ago, where Chris was trying to ascertain whether the open items were taken care of. So what's on there, I don't know if I can make it bigger or not, probably not. But again, this is in those documents, and what's in red are Downs' responses to Chris's questions on whether things were done or not. And there's actually some pictures of, that Chris took and said, what's about, this is number one. So number one is pan over electrical equipment, sprinkler pipe location, needs connection to a drain. So this pan here, which was supposed to, this is the panel box, the big giant panel box. And you've got this drain pan because it's catching the sprinkler pipe up in there, and this drain, which came down and didn't go anywhere. So he wanted it to go to an actual drain somewhere and not just go out on the floor, which makes sense. So that's supposed to get changed, et cetera. And there's a bunch of other info here that was documenting whether Downs got stuff finished or not. So as I said, the firing range report, my understanding is that it's completed and it has to now be reviewed by the selectmen, because they're the ones that ordered it. And it can't come to us until they do their part. So we're still waiting on that. And I think we just want to make sure that it's all done kind of correctly, so that other emails from Chief Pugner asking, when are we going to start the work? When are we going to start the work? We don't want to start the work until we have an actual plan that we can agree with too, not just the plans that came from Downs and from Hoffman.
Right.
So anything else? If anybody has any input on anything?
I
Rick?
think we're sit tight.
Yeah, definitely.
Before you pay any bills, I would run it past Marty too.
Yep,
Okay.
I
Agreed.
could, yes. I think that, we're, once we get a CO and we're well within our, authority given us by the Board of Selectmen to go ahead and pay bills, but I will do that.
And the other thing is, it's my understanding the report is complete, but it was sent back for some clarity, because I haven't seen it yet myself.
Right, you're right. Okay. That's good to know.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right, anything else? I don't have any other updates, et cetera, but as I get more stuff, I did kind of miss sending stuff out to people in a timely fashion for about the past 2 weeks. I apologize for that. I was a little busy.
Uh,
If you came and stood in line at 6 o'clock in the morning on election day, you'll know why. Anyways, so we're done. We have a meeting in 2 weeks and hopefully we'll have big updates from school projects and I'll see what I can get. Obviously no one from Downs attended the meeting tonight, so, you know, they're probably looking at a wait and see on getting their application for payment done.
Hey.
And I'll email Dr. Carver and see what I can find out about the best way to schedule doing some walkthroughs. And again, it would be all great if we could all do it together, but we can't. So might have to do a couple of them.
You know, Nancy, it might be better next week too, you know, sometime next week, and then we're closer to the next meeting time.
True, very true. Okay,
So maybe
Yeah.
towards the end of next week might work out. Richie, if you're available, I wouldn't mind going down there with you too.
Yeah, okay. I have an eye surgery on the 20th, so anytime before then.
Okay. When is that? Like next Thursday or Friday?
next Thursday.
Yeah, that's next Friday.
Okay,
Okay.
so maybe on Wednesday or Thursday?
Okay, give me a call.
Okay, thanks, Rich.
All right, we'll see what everybody, I'm gonna stop, how do I stop screen sharing? I do this,
Go to the bottom and just do it again.
it's actually coming up at the top for some reason.
Okay, wherever it is, just say stop. There you go.
Okay,
I learn something new every day. Woohoo!
pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. All right, so thanks, everybody. Lots of great, I'm really glad that you guys are asking the questions you're asking because I can't think of all of them. But bringing up stuff like, you know, asking for credits and asking for more information, you know, we have to keep doing this. I know we're getting recorded and somebody's gonna probably listen to it, but I'm some of those PCOs that we had to approve because of document omissions makes me wanna say to Perkins Eastman, let's minus that off of your request.
I agree with you, Nancy. That's why I think we ought to wait still a little longer. And, you know, I mean, all these different things that keep coming up, it's like, hey, you know, guys, that, you know, wasn't quite exactly what you told us.
Right. I agree. I mean, we can go way back to the beginning when, you know, when it came up that the whole security system was not the one that was being, you know, used by the town to begin with. And they were like, oops.
Yeah, how do you get the locks wrong? I'm sorry, but I have a problem with
Yeah, I agree.
I really have a problem with that. It's water over the dam, but, you know, I kind of have a problem.
Yeah, point it out. Keep pointing at them. All righty, so I am going to entertain a
I
motion.
make a motion, we adjourn.
Wait,
Wait,
I got a
Rich, what? Rich, what?
what's going on with the municipal center bathrooms?
What about the municipal center bathroom? Can you see us
Well, it's,
ripping those apart right now while that's the main entryway into the building?
are we gonna get a bid on that work?
Do you want to get a bid on that work?
Well, isn't that what we were gonna do? So we can go to the Board of Finance for the money?
Sure, we could do that. We need to finish the RFP is what we need to do.
Okay.
So.
I like to do that before my term of selectman is.
So I got a little over a year to do it then, huh?
Yeah, right. It took 10 years for me to get air conditioning in the GP room, so.
Isn't that good enough? You know,
You got it.
it is unfortunate that we didn't have some of those costs in place back when the place was shut down completely. Because
Yeah.
I was thinking we could have done the demo and the abatement when there was no one allowed in the building, period.
Right.
Right.
And then maybe do it piecemeal, and then at the same time, you know, having to pass a budget without going to a referendum and spend money that we shouldn't be spending was going to be a whole big thing. So damned if we do, damned if we don't.
Okay, all right, so.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Try to work on it, I appreciate it.
Yep, all right.
I'll second that.
Adjourn.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bye.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.